But yeah, that's that's kind of how we roll. We don't do marketing, and we don't care about ourselves to the point that kind of stuff matters. It's unique. You really see it at the big shows.
Yeah.
We just did one down at in 30A, which is a resort area along the Florida Panhandle where incomes are high, the real estate prices are high. Everyone loves going to visit. And the particular show, all the participants were extremely high level. Some had custom vehicles just on display just to get people to come to talk to them or take a picture. You had models, you had banners, signs, barrels. I mean, it was all the stuff and then some. And we just do what we always do. Wife and I show up and we put a bottle of whiskey on the table and no signage, no nothing. And the people over the show are like, hey, where's your stuff? And we're like, oh, it's that bottle right there is it. And they did not like that. But by the end of the event, because our distributor was with us, and by the end of the event, he was giving me the nods, going, yeah, that happened exactly like you said it was going to happen. Because that's what the spirits will tell their own story, and people talk at these types of events, and it's just really cool. It takes a lot of the pressure off us. We don't have to be a certain thing or show a certain thing or spend money or marketing that's creative or interesting or compelling. Just the product.
They have to wonder how you made it turn out that way. They gotta wonder. And the others do too. They've got to wonder, like, how did this turn out with this amazing flavor profile? Had to.
Well, the way those things play out is you get skipped because there's no flash. So in the very first beginning, people are kind of flooding towards larger brands or the ones with the kind of flair, if you will. And the first folks that come up are mavens. Mavens are described in the book The Tipping Point, one of my favorite books. Anyone with a small business should read the book, particularly the chapter on mavens. Those are the ones that show up first, and I spend as much time with them as possible. Very, very detailed. These folks, they seek. They can they ask very interesting, very probing questions. It's something that's exciting to them to find things. It's just in their nature to do it, and they're trusted in their social circles because everyone knows if Linda says that's cool, then we got to go check it out. And so that's what happens. So we spend a lot of time with that first little wave of mavens when they come, and then everything takes its natural, organic. By the end of the show, we are the ones with the long line. And
there's more bottles below just in case.
Yeah, but I like running out. For one thing, then we can go do something else. Yeah, you can only stand there and talk about booze for so long. And after about 3 hours, you're ready to go to dinner or do something else. But at the very end of these events, you get the reluctant folks, and they usually come to the table and they're saying, well, everyone won't stop talking about you, so I have to come over here and try it. So that's when you know that the whole life cycle has taken place, when you're getting the ones that didn't want to come.
And you've seen this cycle?
Oh, every time.
That's amazing.
Every single time. And I told the distributor, I said, this is exactly what's going to happen. I explained it to him just like we just discussed, and he just couldn't believe it. he was with us the whole night, and he's just like, it's exactly what you said was going to happen. And it happens every single time the same way. And sometimes when those reluctant ones come up, the whiskey's gone. So,
Too late.
yeah, shouldn't have waited.
Uh-uh.
But they won't wait next time.
No.
Or they'll go buy a bottle. So, it all works. And that's kind of our approach is not... That's why we don't have T-shirt sales and do all the normal marketing things.
Mm-hmm.
We want the spirits to speak for themselves, and they do. This is a prime example. This is one of those ones that everybody asks about.
This is the rye.
Yeah, it's the forbidden fruit. This particular sample just pulled. I don't know if it's so dark here. I don't know if people can really tell the color of this. That label's gonna... Yeah, it's pretty dark. It really is that dark, even though it is dark.
Yeah, it's almost as dark as the Bottle and Bond in 4-year, right?
Yeah, or darker possibly.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
Some of them.
But this is a 3-year-old rye sample. This is an independent stave, number 4 char spiral cut. So it's a kind of a unique barrel. Really interesting barrel. Hard to get barrel.
Spiral cut.
Mm-hmm.
The Bottle and Bond single barrels, they're not coming out of the spiral cut barrels?
No, they're not. They're coming out of the number 1 char custom toast. So there's no, all these barrels are special. The spiral cut is cool because they'll take the barrel and they'll do the char on it, and then they run it through like a milling machine basically that cuts a groove all the way through the entire inside of the barrels, maybe a 1/4 inch wide.
Past the char and back into the wood?
Oh yeah, it's about a 1/4 inch deep, maybe a 1/4 inch wide. That would be my guess. And so the whiskey then has infinite choices in terms of path. So it can bypass the char, it can go directly into the wood, it can come out through the flavor layer, it can come out through the char, it can go in the char and come out the groove. It just has, you get really deep, thorough extraction very quickly.
In that, if it wasn't in that spiral cut, would it not be this dark, do you think? Or would it still be this dark?
We see color. I mean, that's kind of one of our signatures. I don't know, that's pretty dark for 3 years. And it really is 3. It just turned.
Wow. That's got that first spice hit, stays there.
Oh, I just got chocolate.
And it's got your signature chocolate on the
Yeah,
back end.
it's
I didn't know if I'd still get that out of that.
I know.
Man.
I love doing that.
That is amazing.
Chocolate's great and everything. So it's got a little mint. Not too crazy though.
Yeah, when you spoke about the mint last time, I didn't quite catch on. And is this where you wanted to be, the mint side? Is this
we have some that have more mint than this. But
you're good with this one? This is the kind of the...
It's... My philosophy is to just use the best ingredients and the best processes, the best barrels.
Oh my God.
Control what you can control, and then just let it do what it wants to do. I mean, if I desired more mint, it wouldn't change anything. The whiskey's still going to be what it wants to be. And
spicy mint chocolate, right? I mean...
Yeah, and there's some fruit. There's fruit esters. There's some orange.
Do you play with any of your oat aspect with this one or no? No.
No oat.
No oat.
No, and you can tell. You can really tell on the palate. It's not as thick.
Not as many
the
oils
bourbons
are dropping like the other one.
But honestly, I don't miss it. I think it's kind of
it's
little
amazing.
change of pace, really.
That first initial hit is amazing. You just went warp 5.
Very, It's not burning.
No.
Cast strength. It's beautiful. A lot of fruit esters. Beautiful color. It's just a really promising, and it's completely different from the other cooperages. The ryes are in a variety of different cooperages. So, the number 4 chars will have this sort of a profile. There's a lot of fruit.
Is there
notes.
apricot? Is there a little bit apricot, or? Because I'm picking up on that.
Could be, yeah. Lots of different types of fruit to me. I get a lot of the fruit esters out of the independent stave barrels, whereas the Kelvins are a little darker, and the fruity esters are darker fruits, more in that overripe plum date sort of category. I don't really get any of the cola. We get a lot of cola notes in some of the bourbons, especially the barrels that were really high temperature.
I was listening to something about rye and the gluten aspects. The mash can be super gummy and sort of hard to work with. Did you experience that at all, or
Yeah,
get
rye,
into it if you want to or not?
Yeah, no, rye is a technical challenge.
Was it weird? It did. Does it make your stuff? Does it gum up your stuff, or is it?
If you get something even a little bit wrong, you're gonna know.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that rye would be a beginner's.
Yeah. Well, I heard a lot of people avoid it because of the that mash turns that way.
Yeah, and it'll foam. A lot of people have issues with rye fermentations foaming, and sometimes they'll come in their plant in the morning and it'll just be crap everywhere.
But like foam over the foam over the container.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But you just don't see that in the bourbon mashes. They're just so much simpler. They're way more forgivable in terms of just technical. More enzymes are needed, to break it down and to really have the viscosity where you want it, so it'll flow. Better flow. Everything's going to work better. The yeast will work better, and all the pumping transfers will be better. Everything will be better. It's a far more challenging spirit to make, but in this day and age, when I started, there really wasn't a lot of ways to learn all of these details. It was all talking to people and talking to the most experienced people you can talk to and bend their ear, and they're always willing to help. But now you have firm solutions and groups like that where you can really get access to their laboratory and their expertise, and we do that semi-regularly. We'll just send fermentations in and get lab reports and just kind of to see, from their perspective, how things really are going on a technical level. Make sure that we're not missing something.
And this is just like the bourbon. It's your water, everything. This is all on scene as usual.
Yeah, same rye we use in the bourbon mash bill.
Okay.
It's from Canada. It's from the baking industry. We've talked about that before.
Right.
We're big on ingredients that if you wouldn't eat them, why would you drink them?
Right.
So, of course, the corn makes great cornbread. The rye, obviously, rye bread. The other stuff, all delicious. If you just eat them raw, they're great. So, it just makes total sense.
Now, since we were last here in January, you've had more barrel pick, people having barrel pick opportunities and things like that. You had Jake said the human trafficking charity thing was a hit. I think
that raised a lot of money.
I think he sold them all.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
He's super appreciative. I think he's thinking of a second, if I understand, or something.
there's no reason not to
Yeah.
do it again. It was extremely successful. It raised a lot of money. I don't know if that total's been announced, but
And you can't put enough in that charity. They can keep doing it.
that's true.
So.
And unfortunately, and that has some tie-ins to your profession. That kind of stuff needs
Yep.
that funding, and the private sector is doing really important work, which is great to see. Private sector and law enforcement obviously working together, and yeah, they're doing a lot of really important
That's
work.
super cool.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, that was a big one. That's always a big one for human trafficking. So we have some. The charity that's coming up next will be we're doing a breast cancer charity.
Okay.
And that one's really exciting. We'll talk about the details later if they're still being hammered out, but we have a date, and it's going to be an all-female pick. It's going to be really exciting.
Bourbon.
Yep.
Bourbon pick.
Yeah. So they'll come in, they'll do the pick. We have a whole thing planned.
Like media, like a coverage. They're gonna like probably film things and do.
They'll do whatever they want.
They're gonna do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they got the whole.
Yeah,
run
it's
of
going to
them.
be awesome. They'll be able to come in, do a pick. We're going to do something really special we've never done before. But it'll be an overnight pick. So it'll be a 2-day pick. So day one, they'll come in and hopefully decide on something
Yeah.
quickly, and then we will harvest the barrel.
Are you pointing them to Rick House 1 first, or is it going to 2, or what do you think you're gonna?
We'll look at both.
Yeah.
Rickhouse 1 has 99% of probably what they're going to be interested in.
Yeah.
Some stuff has rotated, so the new house has some older stock.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get into that. We'll make the pick, and then the next day we'll have the pick ready to bottle, and the ladies will bottle it. So it's going to be really special.
Yeah, you're gonna hustle. That'll be a hustle. Wow.
I don't know. I think it's going to be less work.
You're gonna just pour a couple barrels in the big bin, and they'll just. Is that easy? To do a couple barrels just to
It'll be
overnight?
one. It'll be one.
Oh, one overnight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can just dump over one overnight and.
Yeah, we'll harvest it. We'll need to get it probably that day. Get it in the tank and get it into the air conditioning so it can acclimate
Okay.
some, and then the next morning have everything ready to go, and they'll have breakfast and come in and do their thing, learn how to bottle a barrel of whiskey, and do the whole thing. We'll bottle the whole barrel, and
They're gonna label too?
yeah, we're gonna make them do all of it. That's what I mean. It's gonna be easy.
Did you get a pink wax?
Yes.
You got it? Or
We have, yeah. We have samples
Yeah.
dipped. One of them's just killer. It's just really pretty in real
Is it?
life. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Does it behave like you like and not go too far down? Is it
Yeah, it's a little
behave-
more translucent than we would prefer, but it's so pretty. I think the customers are going to be really happy with it. So, and we're partnering with that with Angel Shares, a liquor store in Maryland, not the brand,
Okay.
and they're really the driving force on it.
Oh, cool.
So they're putting the whole thing together for as far as the pit crew, and we'll have it. Yeah, it'll be a 2-day pick with them. Everything: build boxes, label bottles, run the filling machine, dip, tape.
Oh, they're gonna film this.
They're gonna do all of it.
Yeah, they're filming that.
Yeah, probably wear pink that day. Be great for photos, videos. They can hit their socials, get a lot of excitement, and hopefully raise a lot of money. I think it'll do really
It
well.
will. It will.
It's gonna be really exciting.
Hasn't that store he's done? Is that the same one that's done?
Yep.
Okay, he's done a couple, right?
They did the yellow wax pick.
Oh, he doesn't have not the gold one, right? That's not. He's got
No.
the yellow wax.
They have yellow.
Okay, and he got that because he posted that on his
Yes.
socials. Yeah.
Yes, it's on our Facebook too.
Okay.
And our Instagram. So if you see the yellow wax on any of our social, it's been
To him.
Angel Share store.
Okay.
The yellow wax is cool too. It really pops. I'm surprised that all these different colors work so well. because they don't match, but
Well, contrast is cool.
yeah, and people like it. We try to match the colors, so we did blue was the human trafficking color, so we did blue wax for that, and then they incorporated blue in the little special label commemorating the purpose of the the charity pick. So that turned out great. People really liked it. It's a cool looking label.
Now with Jake's, was that with the hand was on the back side and then the typical Dettling was on the front? Is that how that worked?
No, we shipped the packaging labeled according to
Okay.
federal guidelines, and then the end user added
Okay.
the label.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I saw variations.
Yeah. So
okay.
we would not be able to obscure.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
that has to be on the back. All that.
Yeah, the stuff that you should already know about.
Gotcha. Yeah. You should know. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're pregnant and
Yeah, you should know.
machinery and
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's why there's variations. That makes sense. Yeah.
And that whole back label is obscured there in that
Okay.
particular application.
Okay.
Which is fine with me. I don't really care. But I can't do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we haven't talked special label on this one, but we'll come up with something, I think, and make it really pop. There's some ideas that they're working on, and they're exciting. And we have another charity pick that'll be for a local animal rescue group. That hasn't been announced, but that'll be happening as well.
Atmore Rescue or even bigger?
Escambia County.
Escambia?
Yeah,
Nice.
primarily.
Oh, that's cool.
We have a real issue here.
Do you? People just letting their pets go?
Yeah, especially on Christmas.
That's a sad thing.
It's not good. The pound, if you want to call it that, charges a lot of money to receive an animal. So people just put them out. And we're in a rural area, and we end up with a lot of them. Some of them are lost. We catch them if we can. We've been able to return one that was stolen, interestingly enough. That was quite a trip. But yeah, so that'll be coming up as well.
Good.
That's a good one. Anything we can do like that, just to kind of
Yeah.
help out. And,
Those are all great causes.
so what's new is just where we would be if we were picking a barrel, what section of the building. Like my favorite back hot corner is new whiskey now. So stuff like that.
And then 2 and 3, well, 2 are you...
Two's full.
2 are you, like, I remember we talked about 1, you're kind of understanding her over the years. And,
Yep.
Is 2 showing her ways better to you? Now it's only been 6 months, but since we last talked, but still, are you seeing new developments in that? And you might have a favorite area, or is it behaving the way you hoped, being more equal? Because you were hoping for more of a...
More consistent.
Yeah, more consistency across the entire thing.
We don't know enough yet.
Don't know yet? Okay.
No, but we have bottled out of it, and not surprisingly, the higher barrels are far ahead of the lower ones, so that's not a surprise. So far, nothing earth-shattering. I think it's going to be better. But I'm not a fan of palletized barrels. Of course, I figured that after building 2 of those buildings. So the first one's full. The second one, the new house, we don't have a name for any of these. So we have the Rick House, the original Rick House, which is this building. The little picker's porch here, where we do all of our barrel selections and hang out. We have the new house, which is full.
It's gorgeous inside. That's well laid out.
You got to see that?
Yeah, that was sharp.
And it's not completely organized. Some of that stuff that's not double stacked yet. There was some loose stuff down low. We just haven't had time. So when it's positioned correctly, the center aisle will be clean, and everything will be completely slammed full. We need to do that.
It'll be too high or three?
Too
high.
New house is 2 high.
Too
The
high.
new house, which we're filling, is 3 high.
Okay.
But I don't have the capability to stack them 3 high yet.
You mean equipment-wise to throw it up that high?
Yeah, so that'll be an equipment acquisition. Then it may make rotation easy.
Okay.
The barrels are intelligently placed.
Okay.
So the youngest whiskey is against the wall. The oldest whiskey is always to the aisle. So the entire building works that way in a large sweep, a counterclockwise sweep. So in theory, you shouldn't have to dig. You should be able to just work your way around. The problem with that is that sometimes stuff is sold at 4 years and sometimes it might be 6.
So they don't continuously move in. They will just stay put, though.
I guess. I don't know.
Still don't know.
No. We'll find out.
Yeah. I know it's all documented.
It'll be a while before.
If you need to, but
yeah, it'll be a while before that really.
Yeah.
And it, as we empty this house, we refill it.
Yeah.
There's tons of new make in here. So this building is alive. It has, the first one at 2015 all the way to stuff that was filled this week.
You'd have a lot more room if you didn't have to prepare yourself for flooding on level 1.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only downside. So.
Yeah, well, it does happen. So it's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when and when it'll do it again.
That other house is really sharp inside. Is there business expansion? I know we want to have the grain to glass, plan one day, but are we going to be dealing with, basically just working out of this function here for, what are we seeing? Like, you see another couple of years out of you here, or?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
In terms of expansion, we're really just kind of perfecting. So there's some equipment acquisitions that need to be made.
Yeah.
We're still building a few of our processes and perfecting them, and those are scalable. So the open air part of the facility, that was a big departure. You don't see that very often. The state fought very, very hard to see that didn't happen, but it did, and it's going to be allowed moving forward, which is great because that's really the vision for the plant, a new plant on a much, 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 much larger scale. It's the safest way to operate. There's really no reason to air condition a facility that has boilers and roller mills and hot stills and all cookers, all those
with
sorts
walls
of things.
around them.
Yeah, you don't need it. Everything's contained. So there's really no reason for that to be the case. In lots of places of the world, facilities were outside. They were always outside. I think that's the way to do it. I think it's the best way to do it. It's the most economical way to do it. And we won that particular battle, and that's how we're going to operate. And now I'm making it efficient, making it a lot more efficient.
Did you end up figuring out that hot water
I think we have it figured out.
contraption?
It the Willy Wonka hot water, magical hot water
You're gonna
maker.
have to patent that one. It's genius.
It's pretty crazy. Its condensate generation was far greater than I estimated. So that's been the challenge, is to clear it, because standard steam trap cannot process the condensate at the level that we can generate it. So it's basically a 50 horsepower water heater. That's what it is. And it can make enough, it can take groundwater at 65 degrees, and it can fill a 500 gallon cooker with ready to go, 190 degree, 180, 90 degree water in like 12 minutes.
Unreal.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that is being perfected. I'm on like Gen 3 on that. That thing's really cool. Automating our roller mill system, that's coming up. That's next, and everything should be a lot less manual labor.
Okay.
So it'll be safer. It'll be faster. It'll be easier for one person to do it. More consistent, better work day. All those kinds of things, and it'll enable us to double cook, which we already do, but it'll just shave time, hours, which is great. So that gives you the ability to really pump out some volume.
Now the newest product that's come out, the latest product, you've maintained the taste profile, the minimum, or I say like the standard Dettling awesome taste profile to expect even coming out of the rye. We have it, that chocolate, that those notes that you just seem to just generate every single time. It's a slam dunk. Is that everything's been same with the production process? I mean, you haven't had, it's just going through the seasons, different
it's getting
harvests.
better.
Is it?
Yeah, it's getting better. Cooperage has a lot to do with that. Barrel shortage has been, this is our second barrel shortage. That has hindered significantly some of those efforts, and not just for us, but for everyone. If you have a particular profile you're looking for, that a particular barrel from a particular region generates for you on a consistent basis, and then you can't get it, then you have to find another barrel, and it's not going to do the same things. But those types of factors, I mean, that's just life.
You've worked around them. It's still, the product is still
you
delicious,
just
and
make the best whiskey you can, put it in the best barrel you can, just don't worry about it.
What is your thoughts on the latest this third-party pricing? Some of them, the allocated stuff that like we see in Florida, that it's super raised up and not anywhere MSRP. Is there? You seen that? I seen that when I was actually up in Hoover a little bit. One of the stores was doing it. Is that happening here? I mean, what is your thoughts on that? I mean,
yeah, some of it is. Some of it, in terms of in Alabama, the private package stores have to purchase from the state.
okay.
So they're already paying essentially full price. And you can't operate a business that way.
Okay, yeah.
So the consumers here kind of understand we're dealing with a private package store. They're trying to do business with a small business.
Yeah.
Maybe they're open hours that the state wouldn't be, or on days the state wouldn't be, or they have other services that,
or have a more amazing selection, and
hopefully, but that has to be bought from the state too.
okay.
I mean, it's an extremely challenging business environment. As far as in Florida, just acquiring those things, some of those manufacturers require you to buy things that you don't want.
Okay.
In order to buy the things that you do want. Those kind of games are happening on a grand scale. We really cut back. I mean, the biggest change was just we eliminated the small batch completely. The younger 80 proof whiskeys, retired, and has been since October, and it's basically out of the ABC system, and we get requests regularly for it, purchase orders for it, and those are declined. We won't sell younger whiskey now. The idea is to sell older whiskey, and so with 4 year being our minimum, that's not going to be the maximum by any means. There's a big difference between 4 year old bourbon here than the 6. Some people prefer the 4 year, which is good.
There's something magical about the 4 year.
The 4 year is very balanced. From a business perspective, it's really great news that that the 4-year-old has
The draw.
that kind of a draw. Yeah. And it's real solid and consistent. The 6-year really gets into the enthusiast category. The heavier the oak, the darker fruit notes, those types of things. You know, you're not getting that in this 3-year-old sample, but this shows the promise of a particular.
Yeah.
And now that it's been open for a little while, you get a lot more of those fruit esters too in the nose.
Yeah, I didn't get to keep mine open.
Oh well. Get more.
It was too good.
Yeah, pour more.
Now, what are we looking at to make ourselves further out of just Alabama, Florida? I mean, you're tippy-toeing into Florida, but how do we is there plans to go
Deeper into Florida?
No, the rest of just more states. Are we?
Well, I mean,
because people want this. I mean, everybody I know has tasted this. Like, where the heck? I love it.
Well, we're Florida Panhandle and Alabama. Mississippi's coming on. Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Okay.
That's
coming up, or
no? That's live.
That's
we're on
live.
our second. We're on a reorder.
Oh, okay.
We just launched Kentucky, and they're on a reorder. That was a lot of fun. Illinois, Maryland, Delaware, D.C. We have some other states coming. We just did our another big export to Europe, so that's good.
Is Georgia happening, do you think?
No, Georgia's not. Georgia will be the last state.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they love the bourbon.
Their laws. They just need to. When Georgia changes their liquor laws, I'll go to Georgia. Yeah, we're not going to do that. It'll be the 50th state.
Wow.
And maybe not then.
Wow.
I'll just sell to their customers. They just cross the state line and buy from Alabama.
Yeah, if that's what it takes.
ABC, be happy to sell them.
Mm-hmm. I love going to ABC. The people are so nice, and their system is amazing. It tells me I can't get Dettling Bottle and Bond here, but it is 5 miles down the road.
Yeah, the Boss Alabama app was a real game changer for them. Just pull it up on your phone, anything you're looking for. It's not perfect. It updates at night. But it's... And a good tip for people, too. When the Boss Alabama app says that there's 6 bottles in a store and there's no bottles in the store, you need to ask the employees to go in the back.
Mm-hmm. And they're always willing.
Yeah, they don't always find it, but it's there, and then have them pull it up on their computer.
Right.
The register's a computer,
and
they can pull it up, and they can see that it says they have 6. I mean, the case is 6, so that's a real obvious number. It's back there. They just lost it, or...
And their MSRP, I know where they're putting them at the numbers that...
Yeah, we set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't gone up. Everyone else seems to have. We really need to. I mean, everything has gone parabolic, all of our stuff. Labels, glass, wax, corks.
Oh, really?
Boxes. Yeah, we reordered boxes. I mean, just stuff that's just normal packaging stuff has just been outrageous.
Is your label turnaround a nightmare, or how many months do you got to plan ahead for that? Is that something you can have within a month? Or?
It's not too bad. 6
not
weeks.
Too bad?
And if you're not making changes to the label, that really helps.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, the embossing plates are made and the dies are made, and they just schedule it for production. And
so right now, you got majorly just 2 SKUs out there, right? The bottle and bond and single barrel, right?
That's it.
So that's it. Because I got a last green.
Oh, well, we said we do have a 6-year SKU.
You do? Is it on the shelf at ABC?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, that was when we released that sold out immediately.
Oh, okay.
We could have, but I think the barrel picking this year, when we decided to open up to barrel selections, that kind of made it less feasible to hold something all the way to 72 months to then have a 6-year release.
How did they snatch that up from ABC?
Yes.
Did they? There was an announcement or something, 6-year Dettling coming out?
Just me.
Wow, and they went and just smashed it?
Yes.
So That was your third SKU for now, but now
It's
gone.
It exists in the
exists.
system,
Okay.
but I just don't. I don't think we're gonna have. I don't think we're gonna have a release that's gonna match. Maybe we'll change the age from 6 to something higher. You know.
Now, was that oakier and fruitier than the four stuff? Was it really?
Oh, yeah.
Could you really tell?
Yeah, dramatic.
What'd you get? You got another V-Sauce. Was it? Tell me
It's a
some.
PLPC Porlonaga Petit Corona.
So this is a San Cristobal de La Habana.
Are you working on retro?
Oh, I have. I have been doing retro very well. I have been doing retro very well. I actually tried to show somebody.
Yeah.
That's-
That really
it's
judges
Cuban.
the cigar.
Yeah.
If you can dragon breath a cigar out your nose and it doesn't burn, obviously the tobacco is better.
Yeah.
Same with spirits. Why does whiskey have to be burny? It just doesn't. That's heads.
He was right about the stick, what he told me.
Chocolate. I know that and this is going to be epic.
Your spirits and Cubans are at such a match in heaven. They really are.
I love
Quality
it
and
when
quality.
when a spirit and a cigar work. It doesn't have to be a spirit even. I've had some wine with cigars before that was just you just never would have dreamed that they would be so perfect. So yeah, that when it really is good, it really makes each other better. Of course, if we're doing serious palate work, we would not smoke, obviously.
No, not at first. Absolutely not.
Mm-mm. And the barrel selection's gotten me into the barrels more too, which is nice.
Gotten you into knowing them.
Yeah, I'm a little more intimate with the barrels. Well, it forces me to, even though I'm busy. People would probably think it's the opposite. They would think that you'd be in the barrels and that your work would slack. But it's the opposite. I have to force myself to come spend time with the barrels.
Do you get a little? Is there any butterflies when you're about to test a barrel and you're not sure yet? Is there any
No.
butterflies?
I don't think so.
No butterflies?
No, I've done it a lot.
Yeah.
I usually know. It's usually confirmation.
Okay.
Although sometimes I get it wrong. I had. It's kind of funny. We had a barrel kind of thought was going to be a real banger. When we did the human trafficking pick, that was one of the white wheat barrels. And when the Swiss came, European Bourbon and Rye Association, really epic bourbon club. They flew here from Zurich, and I thought, well, they had already had a white wheat pick.
You sent them a sample?
Mm-hmm, we did that remote, and that was I don't remember. It was a year or two ago, so I already knew that they liked that. So I felt like that was kind of my backup plan. 4 people were flying here from Zurich. Check flight costs, and it's kind of a terrifying thing. These are top guys. You're not going to BS their way into selling them whiskey. So I felt like that was kind of my ace in the hole, that they already liked that, and there was some remaining, and I had one against the wall. I was like, that's going to be it. But there was one next to it, so we pulled them both, and the one against the wall was it just didn't have it. those ones against the wall are always the bangers. They're almost always the top. And this one was just, the one right next to it just blew it out of the water. I mean, head to head, it wasn't even a contest. So every now and then you get a curveball.
Side by side.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Side by side.
Side by side. One was just.
Is there a
absolutely.
tree shadowing less than that? Literally section the wall or something? Just
No, it's
something
gonna be,
mundane like that?
It's the barrel.
Is it?
Oh,
the barrel.
It's the cooperage. Same cooperage, but whatever reason, one of those barrels just didn't contribute what the whiskey needed. And you can't look at a barrel and tell if it's going to do it or not. You just have to let it do it. And they're very consistent, but this one missed. And I ended up rebarreling that particular barrel. As soon as they left, I rebarreled it in New Oak again, just to try to provide what it needed.
Right.
You know, a lot of the barrels we would have for barrel picks are just not available right now because I rebarreled them. Because I felt like the whiskey was not. Felt like it could really benefit from something else. So that process is a commitment of time and money and labor and space and all the rest. So that undertaking was pretty vast. We've probably double oaked just in the last 2 months, maybe 64 barrels. So you're taking, whiskey from New Oak and you're putting it in New Oak again.
So some brands are bragging about the double oak. Are you? Is there any double oak labeling or?
No, technically, if it goes in New Oak, it's not double oak. I know this doesn't make any sense.
Because Woodford likes to do with this double oak brand.
I know they do. And technically, if it's in New Oak, it just is in New Oak. And the regulations just say it has to touch New Oak. So it can touch New Oak as many times as you want it to. Disclosure would come in if it was used. And it's new. So there's no labeling requirements. A lot of what we're drinking is in New Oak more than once. A lot.
So
it's an industry secret, basically.
Yeah, and you're taking and providing something people aren't even like. They're taking and
they don't
and trying to brand off of it and make off of it, but it's sort of something you'll do if you need to do or
yes
to make it. Yeah.
Yes, which in a barrel shortage is kind of obscene.
Yeah, it goes to show that what you're not going to let this thing come out without passing your.
Not without a fight. I mean, if the check doesn't bounce and the Cooper will sell me the barrel that I think is going to make it better, that's what I'm going to do. And there's a used barrel shortage, so we're helping the used barrel shortage, which is nuts.
And those are, as we spoke about, what they're probably, who knows, but they're probably going to Scotland and.
I didn't ask.
I mean, more than likely they're
going
straight over there.
I don't know. I should ask probably.
Because I'll tell you what, I know a lot of in Sarasota. A guy started a local rum distillery, and he's been finishing randomly in different bourbon barrels, and he does special releases. And I'm surprised because if they knew the flavor profile of this chocolate and this darkness that you are creating out of here, it would be a good match with his stuff. I'm surprised these rum guys aren't reaching out and wanting your barrels too.
We do have a rum brand that has reached out. Some friends of ours.
Okay.
It's so interesting how when I was getting into the spirits industry, the first 12 people I met were still constantly doing things with half a dozen of them. It's just really amazes me. And this rum brand's one of those, where they're doing some of those things, and our barrels will be used for some, if I'm not mistaken, It's a 18-year Panamanian rum.
Like a Abuelo?
I don't know.
Because there's not many. There's Abuelo and there's...
I didn't ask. It's just barrels. I mean, it's bulk. And then that'll
they're
be
going down
used
there.
for a brand.
They might be going down there.
Oh, it'll be sold in the U.S. It'll be sold in Florida and Texas.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you, yeah, we sampled a bunch of Panamanian rums last month.
Were it good?
You know, I like Venezuelan. I like the Diplomatico more
Okay.
than the older Abuelo is good, but there was a couple that we were going to hit the distilleries on the way back from our trip through the interior. Didn't do it. It had to be planned ahead way more than I thought it had to be. But really, they're good. But I still like. Have you had Diplomatico from Venezuela?
I'm not a rum person.
Okay. Well, if it's a great price point. If you haven't had it yet, when I come back, I'll bring you some because just to experience it. It'll probably change your mind. It's dark like yours.
I know, but they put food coloring and sugar and all that crap in it. And
I don't know how pure. Yeah, they don't have rules.
They don't have rules, and that's the rum industry is going to have to police itself, and they're going to have to set standards, and they're not going to do it. And until then, their ceiling will remain low.
Even Scotch. I mean, it was sad because we were doing research for one of the shows earlier this year.
Found out about coloring. I know, it's crazy.
All this time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, is it true? It's probably their filtering process takes so much color away that they feel they have to put it back. Is that what it sounds like? Is that true?
I don't think so.
Why do they lose so much color then? Why do they think they need to add color?
I don't think they lose color. I think they don't have it.
In the first place?
Yeah.
Because they're saying it's the filtering process.
I doubt that.
Wow.
What? How? I don't think
I
that's
really
true.
hope all my favorites haven't been adding the color. I don't know.
They have.
They
have. They say it's for consistency, and I understand that, but the inconsistency is important. You learn a lot from the color of bourbon. You start to make those connections.
Well, it's honest. This is honest stuff.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll do barrel picks, and we'll do those 100 milliliter sample bottles. And typically, I will arrange them from light to dark, and we'll all debate, the colors. And it's a lot of fun, and then we'll taste them light to dark. And they buy the dark one.
So I know the gold wax, the latest.
Yeah.
That is super dark. And I don't know how you can talk about that, but that on your IG,
we can because what we've done 2 brown labels with gold wax. The first one was our 72-month, the 6-year release, which was our best whiskey at the time. It was our oldest whiskey at the time. And then the EBRA picks, there was 3. The best of those 3 one of them was just exemplary in every single way. And that one was given gold wax. So what we've decided to do moving forward is to only allow gold wax on single barrel selections that meet the very, very, very highest standards. So it'll be awarded.
You're awarding the gold wax?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people don't know that.
Gotcha. You're awarding it.
I haven't said anything about it. It's just the way it is, and it's just true.
That's cool.
So, in theory, if someone comes to do a barrel pick and they pick just a absolutely, top 1%, I mean, it has to hit, every single note has to be perfect. It has to look right. It has to smell right.
You're the judge of that.
It has to, the balance has to be correct. The complexity has to be correct. The mouthfeel has to be correct. The finish has to be correct. Everything has to be perfect. As perfect as something like this can be. then we'll award a gold wax. So it's kind of like a crown jewel of barrel picks.
So
if you see a gold wax ever on a brown label,
single barrel. Okay.
moving forwards, then
So you're telling me I might see a gold wax sitting on an ABC shelf randomly, or no?
one day, sure.
Really?
Good.
So these surprise you, but I mean, when they surprise you, do you sort of know that's going to come from that spot, or no?
But you almost asked the right question, which is where the gold wax was coming from. And it has come from the exact same spot in the building, the original house, both times.
One?
The
Brick house one.
Yes,
Your favorite
in
corner.
the back corner.
Oh, man.
Same row even.
And that's where the first BIB, right? That's your first BIB home
Yes.
run
Yes.
that's just
And that's where the first 72 came from.
to die for? Oh,
I
man.
know. It's something about that corner. It is a magical spot. It gets really, really, really hot there in the afternoon.
Safe landing. Man.
Will that continue? I don't know. I hope there's more places in the building for gold wax to emerge than that one. But the new house it's actually
Well, three,
better.
I mean, three geographically has that corner for the most part. I mean, it's less exposed, you're closer to the road, but three could have the same exact corner success. Now, two may not, because two's corner in that same corner is blocked by three. So three might have the same corner down the road.
Yeah, it might. I think two, that back wall on two, you can't touch it in the afternoon with your hands.
Oh, good.
It's so hot.
Because I think two's favorite corner is blocked a little by three.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the afternoon sun into the building. Of course, there's a porch on this end. So this end of the building's the morning sun. This is going to have shade. Still really hot, but this end of the building develops slower than the back. Then you have the loft. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out over time.
Yeah, I'll be curious.
But I think that'll add an interesting element to differentiate picks and give people a little more impetus to maybe look for a gold wax barrel. But they don't normally pick what I would pick. But they're not wrong. I mean, we've had several really interesting picks in the last few months, and one of the customers really wanted something crazy. Like they said, I want something crazy. I want something super unique. I want something that is
Like spicy or
that's just
sweeter or something, or didn't
they
matter?
just want it. Like, show me something that's crazy. And I knew I knew which one to get. I grabbed this one particular one that's in the aisle. It's hot. And I knew that it was heavy mint. I knew it was a mint bomb. And of course they're like, yeah, this is exactly perfect. And it was a low yield, so that's cool. That particular barrel was delivered today to Seville Quarters in Pensacola. So they actually have two picks. One of them is that mint bomb barrel 368, and then they picked another one, which was 402, 403.
You bottled them?
Yeah.
And has the label got the barrel number on it?
No.
No?
No. But Seville knows, because it's written on the box. They'll know what the age. There's a big age and proof difference. They'll know which one's which. And that one, 402. That one's from the new house, and it is.
From two?
They got that one today as well, and that one is really balanced and really dark. It's a 4-year-old, and we sampled it next to a Kentucky that was 12. I mean, it's not even close.
Was it 115?
115? Is that true? She doesn't remember.
Was it over 110?
I think it's 115. One of them was 115.
Wow.
Maybe the high rye was. I don't remember. These things run together.
So it was a high rye.
Mm-hmm.
It was a high rye.
It was the minty one.
Oh, you did a high rye bourbon.
Yes.
A high rye bourbon. Did you still have
the
oat?
There'll be more of... Yes.
There was oat.
There'll be more of those in, 6 months to a year. I rebarreled them.
Is there a label? There's going to be a SKU for that, no? Are we going to differentiate? Are we going to know?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not.
It'll stay single barrel label?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's too different to confuse people. But, on a barrel pick,
okay,
there's really no rules.
No.
Whoever picks the barrel just tells their own story.
You like it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just tell your own story, and you say, this one is crazy, and we really liked it because it's crazy.
Well,
it's a mint bomb.
Showed them the right one.
This one we picked because of this, and this. They're face to face with their customers, and they can tell that story. That's one of the great things about barrel picks. So before, I would have these, and they would be released without any identification, and they would just sort of go out into the wild, and sometimes they would really surprise people.
Yeah.
Confuse. And that's really not the best.
Because they don't know the mash. They want to get nerdy sometimes. They want to,
Or why is it so different? What happened?
Uh-huh.
Did he lose his mind? Did he forget how to make, whiskey or something?
Yeah.
So, did he change the mash bill?
Yeah.
So this way you can release interesting we have one that I rebarreled again that otherwise would be available today is there's one that's 100% white corn. And that one's going to be, that one will be good. I rebarreled it again. It needed something, so I rebarreled it.
Is white corn less sweet?
It's more sweet.
It's more sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the characteristics that white corn has, when you eat it, the sort of delicacy of it, gets very quickly shouted down by the oak. So if you spend too much time on the little intricacies of whiskey, it just goes away. It's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit I don't obsess about the end result, because the oak's just going to do it at once. So you just let it, and it's best.
That's why it's just so honest.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
It's honest, yeah.
Now, I will shepherd them, if it needs something.
Yeah.
I can move it. If it needs heat, I can move it. If it needs less heat, I can move it.
Yeah, you don't have to play 100% ignorance to the whole process.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
Let's do this.
But there's
right.
a lot of barrels, so we've filled over 1,000 now. We're, I don't know how many we've filled exactly. 100 and 1,000 and probably 1,020. No, probably 1,030, 1,040. We have about 645 barrels on hand. The other ones are sold. So that was a huge milestone. That happened. We just posted that on social media.
The white corn.
No, the 1,000th barrel.
Okay, yeah, right.
That was on Instagram and Facebook. That's just a milestone. It's just kind of...
That's awesome.
It's cool to see that 1000 on the serial number.
Are you going to hold on to 1,000 like you held on to 1?
I doubt it.
It'll go?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was watching... Oh, man, I can't remember the distillery now. It's a shame. I think it's the one in Washington State. Maybe it's Woodville or one of them. They were bottling their 10,000th barrel. So they're bottling their 10,000th barrel right around the time we're filling our 1,000th barrel. Yeah, they're a little ahead. They have us beat. But anyway, it was cool. We should all sign that barrel head. We haven't done that yet.
1,000?
Yeah, as a crew, we have not done that. We need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We did place it where it's easy to get to. So that's one of the things about barrel number 1. I moved it a while back so that it was easy to get to, because it's just a historic, starting point and cornerstone of this whole journey. And 1,000 barrels is kind of one of those unimaginable things when you start.
Congratulations, man.
It's pretty exciting.
How far ahead did you have to, did you plan that mash, and did you do the champion mash, or did you do your high rye, or what did you do when you said?
And it's just normal stuff.
So what's in 1,000? What's the?
It's just standard 6 grain.
It's our champion.
Yep.
Bottle
It's
and
the
bond,
flagship
Good.
mash bill.
Cool.
Yep. 6 grain.
Cool.
I didn't even know when it was filled. Ben just like nonchalantly, like a week or two later, goes, "Oh, by the way, I filled barrel 1,000."
Man,
You're not even gonna tell me?
It's like for a childbirth. You're supposed to be there for the childbirth.
I would think that would be an important milestone.
Yeah.
He's like, by the way,
Man,
we're in the 4 digits.
That's cool.
So I knew it was coming, obviously.
Right.
And I told him to tell me, and he did. But I'm just glad that it was at the end of a row where you can take pictures. And
Good.
Everyone can kind of tap it when they go by.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
Good.
1 and 1,000 are super close to each other. That's kind of cool.
Go. So she's in here.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I should have showed you that.
I'll take a peek after.
It's right there. Right down there on the right.
Oh, with
I
I see a rye one down at the end.
Yeah, it's back this way.
Okay. I
Here.
can't see it from my angle.
But yeah, that's where it's gonna live for a while.
Yeah, Samuel showed me the green for the rye. That's cool. Glad you guys.
Yeah,
That's neat.
that's a great way to spot them quickly.
That's easy, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot harder, in the new house that's palletized.
Can't. Unless you turn them, lay them down. Because what do they weigh when they're full?
Oh, they're
100 empty, so what do they when they're full?
I mean,
They're hundreds.
yeah, it's
You're
a
not
lot.
rotating them. You're not spinning them, right?
Oh, no, you can do certain things with full barrels, but safety becomes an issue.
Uh-huh.
We can stand them up, we can lay them down, we can roll them around, but you have to be really physically fit to do it. Again, it's a safety thing. It's not what we're designed to do. We fill.
This is awkward.
Yeah, we fill barrels in place. We move them empty, we position them empty, and then we fill them, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And that's where they stay. And if we need to move them, it depends on the building. We'll tackle that, in some manner that's safe. But if the rick house was a patent house, the traditional patented rick house like you see in Kentucky, which is really what we need ultimately, what we'll have eventually, you can do a lot more there.
Okay. Is this the closest that gets to that style?
It's similar, but it's wrong. It's wrong on a few levels. The height of the rick rows is wrong, and the width of the aisle's wrong. And I just tried to maximize what we could put in here. And the building expanded over time. So this was my office. So that you can see where it has ceramic flooring in some of the rick house. That's where my office was.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a time when it was my office in a rick house.
Oh, wow.
And then we ran out of space, and I just tore down the office, and then built the rest of the ricks, and then we filled them.
And then found out it floods.
Oh no, we knew it.
You knew it flooded.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't.
Oh, no more office.
Yeah, that gets old. Flooding offices is not fun.
Is there like a trade show every year where you go to and you get to see the new barrel moving,
I don't do any of that stuff.
tools because the way that 2 and 3 are built up, are you going to have a barrel moving contraption standard in one?
They have
It'll stay put in 2 and stay put in 3, or
the walkie stackers will do it.
can he leave 2 and go over 3? And I mean, are you going to be able to bring that machine over, or are you going to have just...
Yeah, my telehandler will move it. No
You'll
problem.
have to move it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, gotcha. It won't stay in 2.
It's too expensive.
Too
to buy
expensive
2
to
of them.
leave in 1. Okay.
But you could expand the new house to the rear, and then put a doorway. You notice the new house has a big doorway at both ends?
Yeah.
That's for the future expansion of the new house.
Okay.
So you can expand the new house all the way back,
Grab onto 2.
put a hole in the side of it, open the rear door on the new house, and now you have the new house. So it's designed to work that way. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, because I never know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we have the opportunity to build a rick house somewhere else, then that's something we would definitely consider.
Well, there's something magical about this entire environment that
And we can keep
might
an eye
not
on
be
it.
messed with. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But this can't be it forever. It's just too limiting. So,
Yeah, I mean, 3 more rick houses at the max, probably 2 more at the max
yeah. You could build a big one.
to take things down to do one big one.
Yeah. Oh no, I could age a couple more 1,000 barrels here pretty easily. But then, can you bottle that much? And the answer is no today. We can't bottle. We can't even come close to bottling what we make.
You'd have to run 24-hour shifts on that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I'll stay overnight if you need.
Like we can't. I mean, we can bottle. If we take our peak bottling and our peak year production, we could bottle a third. So you see how big of a problem that is?
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. I don't know if it's a problem. It's just reality. It just is what it is.
It's kind of a good problem, no?
Well,
It's a good problem.
well, what's going to happen? You can't physically bottle it. So
then the other
it's
stuff gets
gonna
older,
just-
and you end up having older stuff, and
Yeah.
then you have
That's
people
where
that
Dettling
get
Decade
crazy
comes
over.
from.
Yeah, there you go. Get super crazy over
It's
it.
super crazy.
That's gonna be nuts.
It's going to be
That's
black.
That's gonna be like auction.
It's going to be black.
Well, it's gonna be like super lunatic auction stuff.
I know. Dettling Decade has a nice
That's gonna
ring to it.
That is super cool. I would maybe work on the logo or the label now, just in preparation.
Well,
for
it's going to be a
Samuel to.
for him to cash in and buy stupid things. Well, we'll see. We just really focus on the whiskey and just let the whiskey be the star, and we're just in the background, and that's how I like it.
Well, I look forward to all your SKUs being available to me
In South Florida?
in South Florida.
Well, we need a good
'Cause-
distribution partner in your neck of the woods. So if someone knows a distributor in the southern part of Florida that's preferably family owned, not a big one, we've really kind of learned our lesson with that. We just love doing business with the distribution partners that are like us. They're passionate about what they're doing in their own ways, and a lot of them are family owned, a lot, and they're the best.
Yeah, there's something about the mess of the corporation aspect that
Yeah,
puts a hamper on the
yeah,
honesty aspect too.
yeah. And the big SKUs pay the bills.
Yeah,
They can have it.
business is tough enough to have a bunch of.
Yeah, they can have it. Sort of lifting weights has been part of the modification to lifestyle to survive a dual career situation. Yeah, there isn't time to do it, but there's all the time in the world to do it if you're dead, right? So we've just decided to make those types of personal changes that were necessary and incorporate it. And I can make those changes to our production to facilitate it. We can just start earlier in the morning, or we can, go to the gym, lift weights, go back to work. That's usually what we do. We usually basically work 2 shifts essentially, and we do a lot of weightlifting.
Good.
Yeah, 6 to 7 hours a week minimum, and that really has made tremendous difference.
Yeah, blast that adrenaline out of your system.
Yeah.
And I mean, every time I've been here, I know you've been lifting before I started, chatting with you.
Yeah.
And it always, you can tell when a person lifts, they're more chill. They have that less edge because you've burned that off of your system. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to have that built up.
We had leg day
Today?
Yeah, I just completely destroyed my quads and hamstrings today.
Oh, man. Oh boy.
No, I love it.
Yeah, some people love it, some people don't, but I'm glad you do.
Oh, yeah, if you don't love
that pain, man.
Oh, I love the pain.
It reminds you you're alive.
I love it. I look forward to it.
You a deep squat guy? Have you still got the flexibility? Are you good down there?
I will use machines for the deep movement.
Smith stuff for
Smith's tricky.
Like the sled for the deep stuff?
Yes, whatever the gym would have that would facilitate it. I mean, you can have just there's various designs, and you just use whatever hopefully supports your back and then lets you safely go deep and get that bottom end.
Yeah.
But that is not my focus currently. I'm just still building that core, focusing on preserving range of motion, joint health.
Absolutely.
Those types of things. I don't really care about how much weight it is. I'm not, that doesn't really matter.
No.
But Vic and I both lift a lot.
Good.
We use high intensity techniques.
Good.
We do force reps. We do partial reps. We do cluster sets. We do drop sets. We do supersets. We do failures.
Yeah.
At least one per muscle group. We'll do isolation movements, compound movements. I'm constantly researching that stuff, and I look forward to it, and it has made a tremendous difference. And we do it together.
That's the best too.
So that's another thing. Because a lot of people say they can't lift with their spouse. So
usually an ego thing. If you have a no ego problem, that's usually what happens.
I don't know what the problem would be.
A lot of guys with ego.
Well, we work together. So if you work together, why not lift? So we do, and that's been a real positive for me. I really love lifting weights. I can't wait. I'll probably go twice tomorrow.
I'm glad you prioritize that.
Yeah, it's been, and there's times when you can't do it, but we make it up, and I try to schedule our work week around making sure, because if you're going to lift, you have to be able to eat. If you're going to eat,
you got to recover.
You have to recover.
Yeah, you can't be miserable
there.
You
have to be fueled, especially on a leg day. You can't go.
Oh no.
You can't have your tank on empty and go do a leg day. You'll
That'll
be sick
jack
as a
your
dog.
metabolism for days. Yeah.
Yep. So it forces you to plan your meals. Forces you to have structure. It forces you to.
And you guys have family dinners. You guys have You eat
Yeah.
together. Some way or another, you eat
No,
together.
yeah.
You eat together.
Yeah, we do.
That's
The-
huge.
Yeah, the teenager usually takes his and goes somewhere else, but that's teenagers for you. That's fine. But yeah, we to the extent that the three of us can eat together, we eat together. Really spend a lot of time together, and that has it forces us to personally change too, because the whiskey is such a commitment that we've had to make really significant personal changes. So, so Vicky does a tremendous amount at the plant over the last like 8 months. So she'll get up sometimes before daylight and take the dogs and walk to the distillery. She might be firing a boiler, getting a cook started. If she's the first one there, that kind of thing. So she's way more involved in the production. She started on rye whiskey, so she started on the most difficult one, and then when bourbon started, it's like, oh, this is a piece of cake.
And she's your wax queen too. She's got the golden hands for waxing.
She does all the bottling.
Yeah, she's the waxing queen. Yeah,
right.
It's gorgeous wax.
It's really difficult. We spend a lot of time culling out the stuff that doesn't look perfect, and we just redo it.
Oh, you tear it off and.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. And the I don't know if people watched one of the Fred Minnick reviews where he was kind of giving us a hard time about the wax. That really has a funny backstory to it, because people send high-profile accounts like him, they cherry pick what they send them.
Okay.
I think that's what you're supposed to do, but we didn't do that. What happened was we'll take culls from the bottling line, something that's imperfect, and if it's not perfected, we'll use it for like these tasting events.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna open it.
Yeah.
And pour it at a whatever.
Yeah.
Bourbon Fest or something. Who cares? If like the word, if you typoed on the whatever, who cares, right? So when it was time to send him something, I sent him a random bottle out of the culls, the ones that were wrong. And what was wrong on his was the tape to pull to open the
more difficult.
The wax
was hidden under the wax.
I don't know. It boxed up a bunch of them, and I don't even know what he got. And the labels were slapped on them. It was super triple random. So it had to be something wrong with it. And then they were boxed, and then they were randomly labeled, and so like, who knows?
Yeah.
Right. Not cherry picked.
Yeah.
The opposite of cherry picked. So
I actually appreciate that.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I really laughed significantly as he was really giving us a hard time about the wax.
If you got to get your nail in there on some of them, so be it. I like the seal.
You can't open a bottle of booze?
I like that thing sealed tight. I just
don't let it beat you.
I put my nail in.
Okay.
And I grabbed that thing. Okay. I mean, I filmed my tear-offs, so okay. I like it when they're. I know it's sealed.
You're a man. Get your knife out.
Oh yeah, knife it?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. Carefully.
Yeah. I don't know.
Some of these people on Instagram will take an X-Acto knife and they will make a very precise cut.
Yeah, but there's something
then you twist it and it snaps.
Yeah.
And you can actually put the cork back in and it looks like you never opened it.
I don't know, man. Because look, you designed it for me to tear this thing like a caveman pirate.
Yeah,
or
use
something.
your teeth.
And I want it. I actually want to experience your way.
Okay.
Of taking the cork off.
Well, good.
I really do, because I'll tell you what. There's a bottle that we buy from Mexico. People aren't aware of the Jose Cuervo Family Reserve. Very private, hand dipped. It's like yours. and it goes further back. And it
Okay.
has the same characteristics as yours. As the uniqueness, the quasi-difficulty of, I like that. I don't want them to be all the same because it shows me I didn't get a machine doing this.
That's right.
Because I'll tell you what, I have 4 years of Family Reserve lined up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep 4 because the boxes are very unique, and it takes 4 to make the whole thing work. The artwork, it's a whole complicated thing.
Okay.
But I do have 4 open at one time.
Okay.
And each opens differently, and they're very similar to the way yours is.
Interesting.
And they're difficult, they're unique, and I like that.
Well, I'm glad someone likes that it's difficult.
And also I can appreciate. I've seen with my own eyes how it's done here. It's all done right here, which is beyond appreciation.
Yeah, and I like that it's not perfect, actually.
No,
and,
you know.
And it is difficult. And,
Who cares? Someone got a
just
tough
deal
one.
with it.
Cry. I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Then, and I have one bottle that, doesn't line up when I close the cork. I mean, my bottled and bond and my BIB and my green label, they're not gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't correct them. I
Well,
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I hope others do too. But in this day and age, they do want things that are. Then let them get a knife, but they'll cut themselves probably.
Well, I just think it's funny that's what happened. I watched someone the other day open one on the internet. And they just grabbed that sucker and just pulled it right off like it was nothing. And
Some
I
are
was
slick.
"See, what's the problem?
Some just don't care, and I love it. I want to rotate the bottle, tear it. I want to. There's some enjoyment because it's not going to be opened again. Once it's opened, it's opened.
It's true.
It's never going to be opened again. I'm not going to go, and I can't get another Dettling.
It's like cutting the little tax seal on a box of Cuban cigars.
Well,
or
that I
something
will
like-
do cleanly. Yeah, I will.
Oh, you should do that cleanly.
I will do that cleanly.
But there's an experience to that.
That's
you-
amazing.
You just crossed a threshold.
Yes,
You crack that box.
That
and
I use
little
a knife.
nails
Yes.
fighting you, and it
I will use
opens.
something very sharp with that. That's different. I won't use my nail
smells.
to break that. Absolutely not. I agree with that. You got to
Yeah.
cut that with a very sharp knife or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, but the other change or development since we last were together is we have made real strides in our firefighting apparatus.
I noticed 2 trucks outside of Rick House 2 and 3.
Yes, don't go on Gov Deals.
Don't?
No, never. You will buy something.
Did you almost buy those and a Humvee and something else?
My brother got the Humvee. He did. And not just any piece of crap. It was really, really, really awesome. And but you have to do your research. So my brother bought the Humvee. It was an Alabama county sheriff. So I called my sheriff and I said, "Hey, do you know this guy?" So he reached out. We got some, reassurance that it's good.
Functional apparatus.
Runs and drives, does what it's supposed to do. Battery's dead. Other than that, rock and roll. On the fire auction, the first one we were trying to buy a police car, and we lost that. The price went too far, and we had visited that vehicle, but while we were there, we noticed a brush truck, what they call a brush truck. It's a fire truck designed for rural firefighting,
Is that
woods.
Here? Did you get that one too? Is that over?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
under
over
the,
here. Okay.
under the carport.
Okay.
Yeah, so I won that, and that, I mean, who doesn't want a fire truck, So that kind of lit interest.
So the brush truck came first, right?
Brush truck came first.
And that holds water? A
Yeah.
little bit of water?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
probably 200 or 300 gallons.
Okay.
Probably 200.
So the big rigs, what do they hold?
1,000 each. But they have 750 gallon per minute pumps.
So 2 minutes, the thing's empty.
A minute and 20 seconds, approximately.
That whole truck's empty.
Yes.
But it should put out what you're dealing with here if there was...
Oh, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh.
Yeah, so Samuel sent me another Gov Deals auction link. I was like, oh man, I better not click this thing.
And you got a second truck.
And I clicked it, and it was for 2 fire trucks, fire engines.
Yeah, those are full-blown fire engines.
Yeah, they're full blown, and it was a pair. And it was a local department, and my wife knows the fire chief, so I was like, call him, find out everything you can find out.
Yeah.
So we did, and then we went and looked at them. So you have to do your research on those kinds of things. Any kind of surplus equipment like that,
Right.
you know, it may be good, may be bad. So even before I bidded on it, actually I decided I was going to buy it.
You in love with them?
I went, as soon as that big door on the barn opened and I went in there to look at those things, I was like,
Because you have a soft
this
spot.
sucker is coming to my house.
You have a soft spot for fire prevention and fire.
I do now.
You do. Yeah, you've always had a soft
Yeah,
spot.
well, we've made, 53,000 gallons of whiskey. It's highly flammable. We're in a remote area. It's rural. Our fire department is volunteer
Yeah.
and never gets calls. It never gets calls. It's so, they're just not, they don't have the volume of work to have responses, really.
Is this neighborhood, not to change the subject, so I've seen the crops have changed. So is the fire people, are these people around here kind of handling their own fires, and that's why they never get any fires? Is that what's, they just handle their own problems, or?
No, I think it's just the position of where it is.
They don't, they
There's
must
no-
be handling their own problems.
There's no interstate exit
No,
right there.
right.
If they had an exit, they would potentially be useful, but it's very, very, very community based,
Okay.
and you just need a problem in the community.
Well, those 2 trucks are sharp.
I've called them before. We've had the woods on fire. It was my fault, and I met the volunteer guy in his brush truck, which was cool, and I took him out because I knew where the fire was, because it was a fireworks situation, and I went and put it out with him. We had a ball, took care of it. They just never have to, thankfully, get calls. So in our situation, we have to be the fire department to the best of our ability. So we have a need.
Yeah.
We have a need. We're over a mile away from even pavement, surrounded by woods. So you could have a lightning strike and the fire be coming. Something as simple as that. Or it could hit a rick house, God forbid. And, all the money's in there. All the whiskey's in there. So, yeah, it's going to be up to us to handle it. And that's sobering. And then that gave me the excuse I needed to buy, 3 fire trucks.
Those are pretty cool looking.
They're really neat. Now, I'll tell you, people are going to ask, okay, so the brush truck is 87 Ford F-350.
Is it
with-
diesel?
Yes, it's the 6.9 IDI, naturally aspirated. It's a dually, but it's a 2-wheel drive standard, and it needed a starter and batteries, and it has some fuel air leaks that me and a buddy really spent a lot of Sundays afternoons chasing. Yeah, but we've got it licked.
It'll get to the fire.
It runs. It is incredible. 70-something thousand miles on it. It drives like a brand new truck. And it has the pump and the nozzle and the hoses and everything works. And I'll use it to, if we're burning trash, we'll have it handy. Or if we're just blowing leaves off the roof or whatever, I'll use the fire truck for that. Any excuse to use the fire truck.
Yeah, if you don't use it, it'll break.
Yeah.
It's
so-
like an airplane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll intentionally just use it for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now the engines are a bit different because they're so massive, and they're real equipment. So they're both 1984 Ford F700s, and they have the 429 Ford Big Block 4-valve.
Oh, those are gas?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the
That'll be
big
easier
blocks.
to work on.
Carburetors.
Should be easier to work on.
Carburetors. One of them has a new engine. They both have new pumps. And one of them has brand new tires.
As they look, they're up. Yeah, nothing's.
One of them was in service like the week that I bought it.
Yeah, and the tires look good. And
the tires are more than the fire trucks were.
now, did you need nozzles?
So it has a hose reel, and that has a nozzle.
Uh huh.
But it has two of the 1.25" hoses
And those
need nozzles, and then the
are
3
they like
inch.
this job?
Yeah,
And they're not sealing when they.
it doesn't have them.
Oh, it doesn't have them.
Yeah, I
Oh.
literally need them.
So
and
you
then I
need
need
those.
and then I need a 3 inch, preferably 3 of them.
3.
Yeah, I need 3. I need 2 of the 1.25" nozzles and 3 of the 3 inch nozzles, and I think that would pretty much get that truck ready to fight. And they're really cool because they're one of the unique trucks that will pump while it's driving, which is very, very, very unique in the fire truck world. So if you think about it, in a remote area, you got a long road, right? So say the woods are on fire and it's coming towards the road.
Drive.
Yes. You could fire that bad boy up and open a valve on the front off to the left or the center or the right. With there's 3, and you can just drive
Oh, there's 3.
in the front. Yes.
Oh,
Plus
that's
all
so
of
cool.
1,000-foot hose.
And you do need that because
I'm the fire department.
the pathway through here. Yeah, you're maintaining your own
Yep.
road already. So.
Yes. About a little over a mile long, mile and a half. You just drive it really, really, really carefully.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Air brakes. So I've never had a splitter and I've never had air brakes.
No.
So, and steering wheel's like it's huge.
Yeah. It's like a Greyhound bus or something.
Yeah, lots of buttons.
Bluebird or something. Yeah.
They do many things. It has a foot switch for the siren, which is cool.
It's all functional.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. Of course, I turn the lights on and just come home just blaring.
Are you relabeling like Big Escambia Fire Department or Big Escambia Fire or something to relabel?
Yes.
Like Jack Daniels does?
Yes.
They got their own fire.
Yeah. Jim Beam has 2 fire departments.
Jim does it? Oh,
Mhm.
because I've only seen Jack's.
Yep. All the big ones.
You
So
gonna relabel
they have
Big
2
Escambia Fire?
I don't think I'll call it Big Escambia. I may change my mind, but see, the one truck was Fairhope, Alabama. So the brush truck was a Fairhope truck, and Fairhope is the same number of letters as Dettling.
So
The idea, and they took the word Fairhope off, which is ridiculous, but they did. So we'll just replace it with Dettling.
Dettling Fire.
So they'll say Dettling Volunteer Fire and Rescue, I think.
There you go.
And then
There
they
you go.
took the door emblem off, and so we have an art guy that's designing one of those little cool fire deals.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're not gonna have like firefighting equipment on it. I'm gonna
Have the sparkling, just like the old trucker style sparkling lettering, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Well, that's probably too spendy, but like the label or the logo, I want to have like whiskey making stuff instead of firefighting stuff. Normally you have, like that little monitor, you have like the little hook, you have a axe or whatever, a ladder, fire hydrant. I'm gonna have like a still and a thief and a barrel and
Yeah.
just cool it up a little bit.
Yeah, the tools.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
hammer and the thief.
Yeah.
Crossed.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, hammer and thief.
Hammer and thief crossed.
Yeah, it's like communism, but not.
Right. And a Glencairn in the center. It's crossed with a,
That's actually a really good idea. A Glencairn would be awesome.
Man, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Thanks
really
for
do.
coming.
I know you're super busy, got a lot going on. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Good to have you in Alabama.
Looking forward to coming back.
So, yeah, we appreciate what you do.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, and not just podcasts, but your real job.
Thanks, bro.
It's a big deal, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.